So, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
And yeah, we got some stuff to talk about today. Not that much, really. News-wise, uh, it's been a pretty light week, again, as we kind of expected. But it's the first podcast of the new year, first podcast of 2022,
Holy cow.
which is
Still
really cool.
card.
I actually don't know why there's a purple saber. I just know that they look cool. What's his face has one? Nick Fury.
Mace Windu.
Yeah, that's his name, Mace Windu. Yeah. I am beardless, and I hate it. So he can see himself in fights. Sure. All right. Yeah, why not?
That's what he asked for because he knew there was going to be big battles.
Yeah,
He died. He wanted a purple lightsaber so he'd know right where he was.
that's nice. That's really clever, actually. You know, in hindsight, everybody else using green and blue. That's really clever.
Yep.
Why do only the Sith? I know we're in the intro. Why don't only the Sith get to use red lightsabers? Red lightsabers are so cool.
Well, obviously, you would be a Sith.
Yeah, I guess so. In
Okay,
hindsight,
that's the only requirement, right? You want a red saber and you can use the Force?
yeah, you're a Sith now. Here you go.
It's like, look, if you'd have just let him have a red saber in the first place, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to worry about Sith.
If we're Palpatine's over there like, it was the only way.
He wanted a red saber.
Yeah. So it is a new year. It's 2022. We got a lot of stuff planned for throughout the year, but as I mentioned just a little bit ago, the podcast will be changing a little bit. The podcast is growing. Watch out, not bearded man. For a long time, the podcast has just been focused on gaming stuff, which is fine, but we always talk about other stuff anyway. Like we mentioned movies, we mentioned TV shows, we mentioned anime, mentioned comics. But the podcast has always brought us back to gaming. All the news has always been about gaming, things like that. And you and I have discussed it, and it's something that I've been feeling for a little while now. The podcast should be it is the Full Spectrum podcast, not the Full Spectrum Gaming podcast. So we're gonna open it up and cover some more stuff throughout this year, and we'll see how it goes. If it winds up by the end of the year that everybody hates that we covered more stuff, then maybe we'll go back. But I'm figuring everybody's gonna be like, yeah, no, you were already talking about this stuff anyway. Why not cover the news for it?
Right.
I'm excited.
Very nice.
With all that said, though, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you covered with the news that we covered with that. You ready to cover the news?
Yeah.
Picked up this week?
There's not that much news, but we're gonna go ahead and skip weeks, or you won't come back to weeks.
Oh no, we can do weeks. Trey? Huh? We can do weeks. We can do that. So go ahead, sir. I'm ready.
All right. Rungren, how's your week been?
Not bad. I've been in the studio a lot. I got a client that's I'm trying to scratch a really talented musician, man. I love the music this person does. I'm just trying to squeeze some songs out of them. So they've been over a couple times recording, and I've been writing songs. It's been a lot. It's been actually a lot of time in the studio, which is where I want to be making noise. So it's been good. I got a new song. I might pop that up into the Discord.
Yeah.
Later on. I'm giving it a listen back through, see if it's doesn't hurt anybody's ears, not horrible to listen to. Pop it up there. But got a new song for the new year. It's be going on. He's going to be performing. It's written for the guy that I'm trying to record.
Yeah.
But I'm getting it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Do it. Getting to use all this stuff and having somebody in here. It's been kind of it's been shut down over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
As I was just getting started. So just getting started, and then we have the thing.
Yeah.
And then we can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
well, and as a reminder for everybody, the outro music for the channel, that goes up on our regular uploads, was created by Rungren, and I do believe that his commission list is currently not full. So I mean, I'm just saying, you want to get some music?
Not full. I got 2 gigs right now.
Oh.
So
make some great stuff. And some of that stuff he shares with us in the Discord, which you can get into for as little as $1 a month over on Patreon to be able to get access to that.
Yeah. will be $1 a month. There's also a link at the bottom of the page. You can get
Yep.
over there. But really, I have been strumming guitars, banging on keyboards, and turning knobs, and so a great week, all
Yeah.
in all. But yeah. So, how has your week been, sir?
Well, my week has been weird. I spent most of the week dealing with a medical emergency that come up. So I played a lot of mobile games. Put it that way. I spent a lot of time in waiting rooms or waiting, and then sitting next to people that were not feeling very good and needed somebody to take care of them. So I spent a lot of time this last week playing mobile games, and I started playing Pokemon Go again, and I blame you personally for this.
What?
You brought up Niantic last week on the podcast. And then while I was sitting there, I was like, I could re-download Pokemon Go.
That's actually that's kind of funny because I have that relationship. I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but I have that relationship with that game. And I know a couple other people that have that relationship with that game.
Yeah.
That they'll they'll go forever without playing it, and then all of a sudden, like one day, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna download it and catch something.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's kind of funny. Hey, that's a good problem to have, I guess. People
It
keep coming
is.
back to.
It is. And I did get a Salamence out of it. I was finally able to evolve my Bagon all the way up to a Salamence. So, you know.
You play anything new?
A little bit. I played some more Genshin Impact and got the new character. Played that on my phone. Got that new character. Literally like 2 hours before he went away, before the banner went away. Got him with my last desperate roll because I'm far too broke to put money into it now. But I got him, and he's actually really cool. He's got a weird mechanic that the game didn't have in it before, where you build up charges, and then when you used his charged attack, instead of doing a big hit, he does a combo based on how many charges he has, and it's really satisfying as a loop.
That's cool.
But I played a new game. I say new. I think it came out last year, but it's new to me.
Yeah.
You and I have spent too much time together. It's called Warhammer Combat Cards.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
It is Combat Cards is apparently, I didn't know about this until I was looking it up to be able to talk about it on the channel here. Combat Cards is apparently like an old TCG that can be adapted to almost anything using the rule set that it uses.
Right.
And it seems really cool, but the only one that's on the App Store for Android is the Warhammer one. And the Warhammer Combat Cards game is pretty good. It's very pay to win. Let me preface this. It's very pay to win. You put some money in, you're going to get some good cards right away. You're going to be steamrolling through.
Yeah.
But the casual mode and the campaign modes are all versus AI. So if you want to steamroll those, you can. And in the ranked matches, you're up against people. But that means that you're going to have everybody's got their own challenges they're trying to do. So maybe they're not using their best cards because they're trying to get the challenges. It's really a lot of fun. Each card has traits. Some of them heal. Some of them do extra damage. Some of them do damage at the start of the turn. Some will only do damage once. And then you have a commander card. And each deck will have one commander in it. And your commander has their own special ability. Some of them have really good abilities but really terrible stats. And some of them have really decent abilities but really great stats. And if your commander dies, you lose.
Oh, okay.
So it's really interesting, the back and forth.
But it's based off an old card system that was kind of like GURPS for cards.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
It's a lot of fun. It is free to play. If it seems like people want to play, I'll make a guild. But I should tell you that guilds are only there really. I mean, you can play against each other in those guilds, but the main purpose of the guild is that your guild dedicates themselves to a faction, and then you get more cards of that faction type when you open packs. So it's a really good way to ensure that you get the cards you want for your faction.
Gotcha.
It's really cool in that it has most of the factions in there. You can play as Tau, you can play as Eldar, you can play as Tyranids, you can play as Chaos, you can play as Space Marines, and you can play as the Imperium. The only kind of bummer thing is that it is and it isn't. It's that the factions on the board game are split up and then just have like ally rules, right? And this instead just has like an umbrella for that faction. So instead of having like for the Imperium, instead of having Adeptus Custodes, Sisters of Battle, Adeptus Mechanicus, and Imperial Guard, all of those are just the agents of the Imperium.
Okay.
The pro of that is that means you can make a deck that is a little bit of Mechanicus, a little bit of Sisters of Battle, a little bit of Custodes, a little bit of Guard, and you're not penalized for it at all.
Okay.
So you can have some really cool cards out there in a way that I think is really fun. Especially just being able to drop a Lehman Russ battle tank into a fight and do 54 damage per shot.
That helps.
Pretty great. But it uses a point system. So, like, as you level up, you get access to more points to build your deck with. But early on, you're going to have, like, 60 points. And that Lehman Russ battle tank is 54 points on its own. So you can only take a commander that is 6 points or less, which means it's not going to be a very strong commander if you just want to have a Lehman Russ. And that's all you got. That's your only card, you know?
Yeah.
Other than your commander. So it's really about balancing what you got, leveling up the cards as you get duplicates of them, and trying to make a cool deck.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I like it a lot. It is not riddled with ads, I guess, but if you watch an ad, you can get a free card pack every day.
Yeah.
And then you get another free card pack every day just for playing. You get card packs for killing 10 enemies. And then the way they get you money-wise is you get these victory packs that you can open. And they take a certain amount of hours to open. So if you're impatient, you can spend a resource that costs money to be able to open them early.
Well, pretty standard setup for a free mobile game.
Yeah. So far, I've put no money into it, and I'm loving it.
That's always nice.
You know,
That's always nice.
it's really fun.
There's been some card games. There's lots of card games out there, and sometimes they're just the mechanics do not work.
Yeah.
They stumble. So it's nice to hear, they got one out there that's working, especially on that IP,
Yeah.
Warhammer.
And it is cool to be able to throw out a Carnifex and just get to see it wreck shop, It's a nice touch. Oh no, notifications didn't go off. It is a nice touch to just be able to throw out some of your favorite units from 40K,
Yeah.
It feels good.
Excellent stuff.
The other big thing that I did is I recorded some stuff. I was only home really to record stuff like today, but I recorded some stuff, one of which was Endwalker. Recorded another video on Endwalker. This one was a instance that I've been told is the best instance of the game, and I don't disagree so far. And I don't want to spoil too much, but this instance has you in control of a much weaker character than you normally are in. For the sake of the section. And it's a very different feeling from, I just need to use my abilities. It's, I have nothing. And I'm not strong.
Yeah. Sometimes in games, especially when you get powerful up, there's nothing that gives you pause. So it's kind of cool throwing something that's, now you got to think a little bit more before you just jump in and start mashing buttons.
Yeah. So I'll be uploading that sometime this week. But again, I will make a dumb, goofy looking thumbnail to cover up the video and put spoiler tag on there because unlike everybody else on Twitter, I care about spoiling people for Endwalker. So it'll be spoiler free thumbnail. Please look forward to that. But also just Endwalker's still great. I finally hit 64 today. Or 64, 84 on my road to 90. I need to make more time. But I'm getting there. I'm excited. I think the next dungeon is probably coming up soon. And I'll record that one and put it up as well. And then the other thing that I recorded kind of ties into a thing that I've been watching, which is The Witcher.
Okay.
I'm watching Netflix's The Witcher.
Would you go back and pick up a game?
So we used to have a series on this channel called Make It Right. And some of the long in the tooth viewers, I'll say, that have been around since the old days will remember that I did not like Witcher 3 at all, really, when it came out. Just didn't. It was very buggy on PC for me. Movement didn't feel great, and so I dropped it. I dropped it hard, and just never looked back. And I started watching the Witcher TV show, and it got me going. So I recorded a first impressions of Make It Right on Witcher 3 today, and without spoiling too much, I will be continuing that for the channel. Do check-in videos here and there as I get further in, because it's a much better game than I expected it.
Well, if it's running correctly and smoothly, that makes a big
It
difference.
sure does.
You know, lag is a game killer.
Yes. And then to answer the question in chat, Game of the Year, I started the Outer Wilds DLC, which is the last thing that I need to beat before Game of the Year. Because I want to beat Endwalker too. I really do. But I'll put it this way, and this may not seem fair to people, but I kind of don't care. Where I'm at in Endwalker right now, it is already the best game that I played this year.
Fair.
So whether I finish it or not, I don't think that's going to change. I'm going to try and finish it before I record Game of the Year, but I promised I would do the Outer Wilds DLC before I finish Game of the Year. So I'm working on that, and I started that today, and the video doesn't even have half of it. I'm glad I stopped the video where I did for the sake of spoilers. But I can't believe they've done this. I can't believe they took an incredible physics simulator that also happens to be a great game and made it better. But there are already some moments where I just went, no, what? Huh? And I'm not even an hour in, and it's supposed to be 10 hours. So that's a strong runner-up right now. If you like Outer Wilds, you owe it to yourself to try this DLC, because it's very good.
All right.
So expect that DLC at some point as well. But that's been my week.
Excellent, sir. Well, shall we cover the news stories?
Yeah, I think so. There's no reviews this week. There's no game announcements this week. Why would anybody release a game this close to the start of the new year, you know? Let's talk about this one that I don't understand. Let's talk about Warzone's pay-to-win skin.
This is so. Look, Fortnite just went through this.
Yep.
You know, if you make it to where somebody can buy a cosmetic suit that's just supposed to be cosmetic, but it makes them invisible when they step into the shadows.
Yep.
That is an advantage. You know, you have that one guy who's really good. Sorry, I apologize for his tag, but just picking off a whole group of people because they can't find him.
That's right.
You know, and good on him. See if I can find it. I'm gonna try to find the name a little bit, but good on him because he put it up to say, "Hey, this is wrong."
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
Pat his stats, but that's ridiculous. You
Yeah.
didn't have anybody play this.
I don't understand how anybody thought it was a good idea, you know? But then the fact that they go, oh, well, it's balanced because you can see the mask. No, you can't. Not when they're in the shadows, not when they're behind something. It doesn't matter. They're invisible.
Yeah, and what's stupid, it's such an easy fix, right?
Yes.
Put something that shows up. That's all you got to do.
And it was, the thing that really gets me about it is the fact that people knew about it from the 15th of last month.
Yeah.
And it's just been nothing done. And I get, holidays came up, but a hot fix or something, just.
Well, yeah, like I'm saying, it seems like you change one small. Obviously, I'm not speaking as a programmer.
Yeah.
But you change one color file, right? Some strap, part of the helmet.
Yeah.
Something in the hood, maybe something down the arms, the gloves. Just so it shows up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw people defending this too, going, well, active camo was in GoldenEye and it's in Halo. Yeah, that's a temporary power up, first off.
Yeah.
Where you can still see the person if you're looking close enough.
Right. It's like the Predator.
Right.
You see the distortion.
everybody has access to it.
Yeah. That's the other flip side of it, right? And look, let's be honest. If everybody gets access to it, you've changed the game.
Yes,
If
absolutely.
you can hide, if you can go invisible in shadows, it's going
Yep.
to change the tactics of the game.
Yes. There is a really fun 4-player local co-op shooter called Screen Sheet where everybody is invisible. And you have to look at other people's screens to figure out where you are.
Oh god.
And it's a really cool game, but it's really tough to play because of that. And I did see a clip of a match where everybody in the match had this skin. And it was kind of like that, where it's just like you had to look to see where other people are looking to figure out where they're at because you can't see them.
It's like it worked great on Battle on the Atari 2600.
Right.
The invisible tanks. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been implemented well since.
I don't understand the mindset of, we're going to put this skin in that does this in our game, knowing that it's going to be a problem and knowing that only the people that either play the most or pay the most are going to have access to it.
Well, yeah, and like I said, obviously they just made the skin and didn't even bother to run a check with it, right?
Yeah.
Load it in. See how it works with the environment. Don't just slap skins on stuff. Like I said, if this had been like this has never happened before in any game, I might be like, well, hey, they've got to get this stuff out.
Right.
We need to fix it. But the fact that Fortnite just went through this,
Yep,
and had to hot fix it and fix it for the black uniform, the superhero uniforms.
yep,
Then catch on. It's not matter if you like Fortnite or not.
right.
They made a mistake and they had to fix it. So don't make the same mistake they did.
Well, and credit to Fortnite too. They fixed it quick. They didn't wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And hotfix was within the week.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's very. It's silly.
Yes.
This game, this happened.
It is. Moving on from that, though, we have
This is what I'm interested in, man.
such a weird thing. Let's talk about the EVE Online Doctor Who crossover. So, first thing we should say is EVE Online doesn't do crossovers. Their game is very strict about their lore.
Yeah.
They are very focused in on it. It is not like, say, an FF14, where here's the Dragon Quest crossover and you can wear the Dragon Quest hat. It is not an WoW with hey, here's the Harry Potter crossover and now you get the Harry Potter glasses. It is very much this is our world. We don't allow deviation from it.
Right.
Until now.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah. The Mr. T crossover, that's another good example. Yeah. So this crossover is to allow, as far as we can tell, because a bunch of information hasn't really been given on it yet, right? To allow Doctor Who clothing to be available for player avatars. And to also allow Doctor Who themed ships. As in, like, Dalek ships?
Yeah.
People are very upset.
And I think they should be because, look, EVE Online came out in 2003.
Yeah.
It has been through bumps and grinds, and its player base has stuck by that company and stayed loyal, to the whole story.
Yes.
Going through, and honestly, out of all the MMOs out there, that may be the one where the players really drive the story more than anything.
Right.
It just does not fit, man. It seems a money grab can work. You can see a money grab and say, all right, well, at least it fits. And this one just really doesn't. This is outside trying to force something on a community that didn't want it.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's the way I see.
That's the way most of the community seems to see it too. One of the big things that people are saying, I dug through forums today, and one of the big things that people are saying is like, hey, we make the story in Eve by playing the game. The big story events that have happened, the ones that people talk about, the ones that articles get written on, that videos are made on YouTube about, are player created events.
When our players lose $350,000 on a battle.
Exactly. It's they make the world, and to a lot of players, this feels like a slap in the face from what they're saying. Of, you know, hey, our story's not good enough. Now you're making your own story because somebody paid you to do it.
Yeah.
And it has people pretty upset. Another thing that has people upset is that according to the Eve Online rules for making your alliance logo, it has to be within the lore of the world.
And now they got Gallifreyan.
Yeah.
They're gonna have Gallifreyan artwork.
Yeah.
This is so sad because, like, okay, like I said, I'm not talking as an even online player. Very, very aware of it, though. Take that mechanic and make a Doctor Who game.
Yep.
You know, you
I agree.
got verse there, Daleks, and everything else.
I agree.
You got the engine.
What really bothers me about this too is that it's like it feels so tacked on because it's completely separate from the rest of the game. You have to fly into a warp hole to get into the area where you can then fight Daleks.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Why?
I think.
Go ahead.
Well, I think there's a lot going on right now. I won't go too much into it. Seems like there's a lot going on right now to redeem Doctor Who.
Yeah.
A certain way. With this, and obviously this is going right along with the TV movie. Is this Convergence, or are they both Convergence?
So this Convergence is a part of the game.
Yeah, but I think the TV series, the new Doctor Who thing coming up is Convergence as well.
I think so too. Yeah, I think you're right.
Going through, but
to clarify with chat too, we talked about it on the podcast last year when it happened, but it wasn't big news then. It was just like a throwaway thing. CCP got bought out by Pearl Abyss last year.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that doesn't have something to do with this, because I agree. Eve has had very reasonable devs for a very long time, and then all of a sudden just this. Another reason people are upset is because they believe this will lead to more crossovers and just watering down the game.
Yeah.
And I understand where they're coming from with that. I mean, again, the game's lore is player based, and to suddenly just go, here you go.
You know, it's obviously like in Lord of the Rings Online, the lore is not player based, but the lore is set.
Yes.
Right. If you throw a freaking a Jedi in there, they're probably not going to play the game again.
Right, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Of course, I have to be careful on that a little bit because I've become a little bit of a purist. I love C.S. Lewis, but I love Lord of the Rings much more than I do Narnia. And Lewis's nonfiction I like more than Narnia.
Right.
But the thing I don't like about Narnia is it's there's a crossover. They're crossing the streams.
Right.
And like I said, I guess that can work in some places, but most of the time I want that world, that purity, that story.
Yes. I wanted to just throw this out here too before we move on from this, because I do think this is really interesting. Throughout the years, there has never been like a big exodus from Eve, right? It's always people trickle in, people leave. Eve has always been very set in the amount of player base because the people that play it love it, right?
Right.
After this announcement, I believe it's 2 at this point, mods for the subreddit and 2 administrators on the official forums have quit, like publicly quit. One of the biggest YouTubers on Eve has publicly quit because they all take it to be an insult,
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
And it's kind of crazy. These people have been playing Eve for more years than a lot of our viewers have been alive.
Eve dropped in 2003, man. They've got it's just sad to me because it's not the world I want to be in, but Eve seems like one of the purest MMOs out there.
It does.
As far, like I said, as far as the players have put the time in and build this stuff up, and And I'm sure there's some people out there have just mad for just be mad over this.
Yeah.
But I have, like you're talking about the mods and people that have put years into this and just have to walk away because it doesn't fit. It's not right. It's a money
Yeah.
grab. Trying to, yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to roll back. I wonder if it's going to have any effect.
I want to say they will. If it was still CCP, I would say absolutely, because they rolled back on the extra patrols that they were sending out after that major battle back in 2014, I think it was. They sent out extra AI patrols to keep that from happening again, and people were like, "Hey, half the fun of this was that it happened because of an accident that wouldn't happen with these patrols."
Right.
But CCP pulled them back and was like, "Yeah, you're right. That's part of the fun."
But yeah. Well, I imagine they had quite a when because that got a lot of attention.
Oh yeah,
And $350,000 is a lot of money. But then again, it's spread over a couple thousand people
yes.
going through that.
But now
when you
that
put
Pearl Abyss owns them,
yeah, so yeah, man, that's rough. It is. That's not knowing your fans, man.
yeah,
Not knowing them.
everybody be okay. We just make some money, right? No,
No.
as it turns out, no. Speaking of money, let's talk about the Steam Awards.
All right, look. I'm glad Steam is out there. I don't think they should be giving out awards.
So these are user voted for what it's worth.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to take them from the bottom up because we've both been spoiled for these if we looked at the list, The official Steam page, instead of letting you click on one and then go to it to see the winner, it literally just tells you the winner on it.
Yeah, right at the top.
So we'll just scroll to the bottom and scroll back up. Do you want to do these like the Game Awards and just alternate?
Yeah, let me get it. Let me get it pulled back up because I was like, I don't want to spoil anything.
I want to take this one just to make you take the next one.
Okay, I'm pulling it up.
Okay. For the 2021 Sit Back and Relax game. Now, again, these games don't have to have released in 2021 because it's Steam. The nominees were Unpacking, Potioncraft, which, I can firmly recommend that game, Townscaper, Dwarf Romantic, and Farming Simulator 22, all of which did come out in 2021. The winner was Farming Simulator 22. Of course it was.
I got which Potioncraft was a cool game.
Yeah.
When I got set up, like some of the simulator stuff, computers that people have set up for those tractors and farming simulator are absolutely insane.
They are.
They have a whole control board along with the pedals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
People take that one seriously.
They like to farm in video games.
I see why you started. Okay. So that was that threw me off. That was the sit back and relax game of the year.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. So 2021, outstanding. I want that to be highlighted and underlined. Outstanding story-rich game.
Yeah.
So we have the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Didn't come out in 21.
Yeah. Days Gone, Resident Evil Village, Cyberpunk, and Life is Strange True Colors.
Mm-hmm.
With the winner being Cyberpunk 2077. Do not award these people.
It also didn't come out this year or last year, so why?
Really, how does that go over Life is Strange True Colors? It's your turn now. You did that on purpose.
I did. Next up is Best Soundtrack. The nominees were The Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, The Hinokami Chronicles fighting game, Guilty Gear Strive, Persona 5 Strikers, Nier Replicant, and Guardians of the Galaxy. The winner was Guardians of the Galaxy, which surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, you got Nier, Persona, and Guilty Gear all next to each other there.
Yeah.
any one of those three could have won it, and people love the Demon Slayer soundtrack from the anime. Personally, I probably would have disqualified both it and Nier because, again, they're, Nier is a remake, and the Demon Slayer game is using the same music from the anime. But Guilty Gear Strive and Persona 5 Strikers have incredible soundtracks. I really need to play Guardians of the Galaxy, apparently.
Well, it's like that doesn't surprise me because as far as the IP goes, what they've done with the movies, the soundtrack is key in
Absolutely.
both those. So it's man, okay. So for the 2021 best game that you suck at,
Such a cool category.
that is a good category. We have World War Z Aftermath, Naraka Blade Point, Neo 2, the complete edition, Age of Empires 4, and Battlefield 2042.
I'm surprised at those last two. Like, really surprised at those last two.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But the one that the one that you suck at the most, the winner of this is Neo 2, the complete edition.
Great game.
The what is Naraka?
That is the battle royale style, like chivalry almost, except very west or very eastern.
Oh, okay, I did.
Battle royale.
I already remember. Take on that next one. There, it's an interesting one. I like this one.
Most innovative gameplay. The nominees are Inscription, 12 minutes. What is this? This is Monkage?
Maybe.
Deathloop, and Loop Hero. All of which I think have a really interesting design choices when it comes to their gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
The winner is Deathloop.
Yeah. Out of this, I think see why they gets that. For me, it's really close. Inscription done such a great job.
It really did.
Redefining the card game thing.
Yeah.
But that was a good category. I can't really say anything about anything there. 2021 Outstanding Visual Style from Steam. So you got Psychonauts 2, Subnautica Below Zero, Little Nightmares 2, Bright Memory Infinite, and Forza Horizon 5. With Forza Horizon 5 pulling in the votes to become the winner of that category.
Yeah.
Which it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think it deserves it.
Little Nightmares has its own style. And Psychonauts 2, well, that's that style from the 90s. I mean,
yes.
Kind of, I don't know. It's not a bad category. Like I said, I love Forza Horizon 5. As far as outstanding visual style, though, I think I'd lean towards Little Nightmares 2 just because of the world.
I think so too.
Textures it has.
I think that while I do think that Forza Horizon 5 looks beautiful, I think if we're talking about style, it either needs to be that or Subnautica for me.
Fair enough. Yeah. On that.
Next up is Better with Friends for 2021. The nominees are Valheim, Back for Blood, Halo Infinite, Crab Game, and It Takes Two. With It Takes Two being the winner.
That had a very interesting trailer for it.
Yes.
I've watched that a few times. I haven't touched it, but I'm kind of wondering. You remember, what was it? The second Unravel 2.
Yes.
Unravel 2. Yeah, that was a great game, and that just It Takes Two kind of has a, I don't know, a feel to it like that.
It does.
Or look to it.
Crab Game, for anybody who doesn't know, I see some confusion in the chat, is somebody watched Squid Game and went, hey, I can make this but a video game, but I can't call it Squid Game, so I'm calling it Crab Game. And it's supposedly really fun, actually.
Right on. Well, we got the 2021 Labor of Love. And these ones are Dota 2, Terraria, Rust, No Man's Sky, and Apex Legends. With the winner being Terraria, which that makes sense with the criteria they give, because the criteria they give is the game has been out for a while. The team is well past the debut of the creative baby, but being the good parents they are, they continue to nurture and support it. Support it. And I think they definitely deserve that nod.
Well, Terraria came out in 2012, didn't it?
It's been a while. It has been a long while. And
2011.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
They just got the last DLC this year, and they're still making stuff for it, even though they said they were going to stop.
Like I said, I think they definitely deserve that. I always like it when a small team gets a good call out.
Yeah. Next up is VR Game of the Year.
Okay.
The nominees are Sniper Elite VR, Cooking Simulator VR, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, I Expect You to Die 2, and Blair Witch VR. And the winner is Cooking Simulator VR. Well deserved, I think.
Yeah. I haven't messed with VR.
I haven't either, but I was either going to give it to I Expect You to Die 2 because I Expect You to Die 1 was so much fun. Sniper Elite VR because you can follow the bullet straight into the
Just a cool.
straight into the nuts. Let's put it that way. Or Cooking Simulator, which again I think deserves it because you literally like make the whole meal in VR and it looks really cool
That's nice, man.
with like a weird style.
We'll say a couple of things. And finally, we are on the 2021 Steam Game of the Year. All right. The nominees being Valheim, New World, Cyberpunk 2077, Resident Evil Village, and Forza Horizon 5. With the winner being Resident Evil Village.
Well deserved.
Yeah, and there's really only 3 up there that could be discussed. New World and Cyberpunk. You don't reward that.
No, why are they there? Get those out of here. There's so many weird, cool Steam games that could have on here. Where's like best indie? They used to do that. Steam did.
I don't know. It does seem like a short list.
Yeah, I feel like they've definitely done more in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gotta love Steam. For user voted awards, I saw a lot of the same stuff. I was expecting to see a lot of like random stuff mentioned.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see stuff like Potion Craft and Inscription and Loop Hero all get brought up. Where's GTA?
See,
Not
that
on
should
Steam.
have been in the category with New World and Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that's right. Worst launch.
Oh, man.
Our last bit of news for tonight is talking about the AGDQ schedule. And whether you watch Awesome Games Done Quick or not, we always like to cover these because I think it's cool to just remind people it's happening, first off.
Mhm.
And then secondarily, to talk about the games that are getting ran. Because I do think it's really interesting to see which games continue to get run and which games get dropped and which new games come in early. Because speedrunning is really fun. I know a lot of people don't love AGDQ because of the way they run the show. A lot of people wish that they would do donations in a different way. But if you've never seen Awesome Games Done Quick, I think that it is something that you should at least check out because the show is really, really cool.
Well, not only that, what people are able to do with a controller on some of these games. Now they I don't know if they still do they do tool assisted?
They do have a task block, yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Which is another art form in its own right. Trying to get all that figured out, but what people figure out in the game and how they go about it and what they can do with the controller, and it's discipline and precision.
Yeah.
But it's worth watching on that alone,
I agree.
Without the complaints.
Next week for the podcast, or it won't be next week, it'll be the week after when it's all done. I will link in the chat the link to the VOD page where you can go back and watch the stream from whatever individual game you want to see. Because I know that a lot of people don't want to just jump in the middle of a game they want to see. And you can no longer scroll back on Twitch anymore. So, unless you've been watching it the entire time. But interestingly enough, they're starting with Neo 2.
Yeah.
Which I think will be a really cool speedrun to do. They expect it to take about an hour and a half, 1:35 specifically. It's being read by Axel Sango. It'll be followed by, and stop me for any of these that you're really interested in, but it'll be followed by Metroid Prime Hunters, and then Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, and then Deathloop in 25 minutes.
Okay.
which is really soon for that. Which I want to watch that.
Well, they've got some returning games too that a couple of them interested in.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Axiom Verge 2 follows Deathloop. Mega Man 2, any percent, 30 minutes. With Cool Kid, that means they're not going to be doing the skip that lets you beat the game by walking backwards and hitting credits randomly, which means they're actually going to play the game, which I'm excited for. If there's time for it, they have a bonus game, which is Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence. The entire tanker, while blindfolded, being ran by Apache Smash in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That sounds great. Then another new game, Death's Door, in an hour 15. That sounds pretty cool.
There we go.
Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, 38 minutes. Be cool.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was looking through. They've got some that like it's every year, right? You got like your Donkey Country, some of your Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
They show up quite a bit. And then, do that. Oh, man. There's a couple of them that just look. Dead Space 2, I'd like to see that.
Yes.
Hour and 20 minutes.
Yep. 2 hours on the dot for Dead Space 2. That's going to be insane.
Yeah. Any percentage. And that's just the first day.
Yeah.
Man. I got some Zelda going on.
Trying to find. There it is. I remembered it was on here. I had to find it. Part-Time UFO in 30 minutes. That game was on my top 10 for last year. I love Part-Time UFO. That game is so beautiful. That game is quaint and wonderful and amazing. And if you haven't played it yet, it's on the Switch. It's super worth playing. It's also on Steam. But 30 minutes for that entire game, that's going to be great.
The Webbed, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That should be cool.
I want to see that one for sure. Chicory as well. All Bosses and Trials, 35 minutes. That just released this last year. So that's going to be really cool. Kina's Bridge of Spirits, too. Brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Psychonauts 2 just came out. Any percent. Also, real quick, Ori and the Blind Forest, all cells. Ori and the Blind Forest is an incredible game. That'll be a great speed run.
They showed it less than an hour.
Yeah. And let's see.
They're going to have 40 minutes. Hitman Codename 47. That'll finish off the second day.
Yeah.
The third day.
See any big ones there you want to?
Not really. There's something probably checking it out. Final Fantasy 13 in 5 hours. Any percentage.
That'd be interesting to see because you really can't rush the first half of that game.
Oh.
In all those hallways. So.
Yeah. Ratchet and Clank would be good too.
Yeah. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart in an hour 35. Also, just real quick, Nier Automata is going to be a race with mods.
That's
hour
cool.
35. So just, that could be interesting. Returnal also a fresh file in an hour 6 minutes.
Man, these people are nuts.
Yep.
Absolutely nuts. They it will be, let's see, we're going to the 4th, what's that, 12th? January 12th will be the 4th day. It's a Wednesday. Yep. 3 Dirty Dwarves, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting in less 55 minutes.
Yep. Typing of the Dead, too, 35.
Yeah. Oh, I'd like to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and the Hyperstone Heist. That would be a good one.
Yeah, be really good.
Oh, man, this is a good day. All the Sonics. Quite a few different Sonics.
I'm really interested in this Pokemon Crystal key item randomizer race with 3 different runners.
Yeah.
Where the key items are going to be randomized, which means they're going to have to think on their feet as to, refine stuff.
Yeah. Man, they got a lot going on, dude. Halo 5 Guardians.
Well, and you brought it up before I interrupted you there, but the GeoGuessr Perfect Score co-op run.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool.
Splatoon 2. Hour and 8 minutes. Oh, dude. That day ends with Zelda.
Yep.
You have
Zelda CDI.
Golly, man. Well, that's another thing that right, because you're gonna see stuff that you can't see anymore, like 3DS, the N64, original NES, Sega Genesis, things like that. Oh man, that Thursday, Catchup, the Monster Slayer. I don't think I'm
I have no idea what that is.
Tasmania on the Game Gear. 11.
Yeah.
That would be nice to see. Golly, they got some older ones there. Captain Darkman on the NES, 14
Yep.
minutes. Goodness,
Yep.
through that. I would like to. I'd definitely like to see that.
The Castlevania block is there too.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There's dude. Any Director X in 24 minutes. Six. Oh wait. So we got less than an hour. I couldn't even come close to these times.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
So crazy. You're gonna beat Layman of Innocence in under an hour.
Right.
know. I can't do it.
Also, we have Lost Judgment, brand new game, 80%, 3 hours.
Yeah.
How do you? That's like a 40-hour game in 3 hours.
Well, it's got Kingdom Hearts 2 coming on right after that, and that's another 3 hour.
And it's a randomizer race with 4 runners.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be nutty. Oh, I would definitely like to watch the Resident Evil Village one for sure.
For sure. Village of Shadows, glitchless. 2 hours. It Takes Two as well. 2 hours.
Oh, that's what they end that day with.
Yeah.
It Takes Two. That would be an interesting watch. I'd like to see that. Going through that. Friday. Golly, marble it up. That's an old game.
Yeah.
Oblivion, 35 minutes without the Dragonfire skip.
Yeah,
okay.
that's going to be interesting.
Go through that. I think they just run. You got to take off running north. Or is it northeast? I don't remember. I actually watched a speed run a few months ago on Oblivion.
Yeah.
Ultraman Ball from the Game Boy, 15 minutes. I'd definitely like to see that. I want to see somebody beat that in 15 minutes.
For sure. I think one thing. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
One thing I think is really cool is there's a bunch of runners here I don't recognize. I know that a lot of people's complaints for AGDQ for a while was that it was just the same people. But it's nice to see some other people being given a chance to run too.
Yeah. I think that I like to see the Dark Souls runs. I've seen some pretty amazing Dark Souls runs.
All Bosses Race will be nice.
Yeah. Hades 207. That'll be a good, that'll be a good watch. Mods Boot Camp. That's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's an extra thing, but yeah, Mods Boot Camp. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves going to end the day. That day. For an hour and 30. Golly, man. How do these people pull this off? That's like insane.
And these aren't like, it's not like the 4-minute, we found a way to glitch to the credits. You're still having to play the game.
Yeah. That's nuts. Spider-Man 2. Tetris Attack. Very hard mode. Very hard mode.
Blazing Chrome! Blazing Chrome!
Oh my gosh. Somebody's going to go through Out of the Shadows, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
They're also doing the old Japanese SNES variant Sailor Moon game, Sailor Moon R. Bishoujo Senshi, Sailor Moon R.
And look, nobody can pass up, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
That's right, 55 minutes?
Yeah. Subnautica in 55 minutes.
Yeah, that's actually going to be crazy.
Well, Earthbound in an hour.
That's a really interesting run. Fallout New Vegas, all unique weapons in 55 minutes.
Yeah, this little block right here is kind of interesting. I kind of joke about the SpongeBob SquarePants thing, but then you got Subnautica, Earthbound, Fallout New Vegas, and then Halo. And then, A Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda, with all bosses.
With no glitches for exploration? Literally beating every boss in 58 minutes? Do you see what I see?
What was that? Got Tetris Granite, Sekiro.
Sekiro blindfolded? In 2 hours 45?
Good luck, buddy.
All right.
Oh, yes. And then, Metal Gear Solid. Console, all bosses, extreme difficulty.
Nice.
1 hour, 29 minutes.
That's cool.
That's one I want to see, and that's a great way to end. Man, these people that put these games on, the time they spent, how many times have they gone through these games?
Oh, there's no telling.
Be like sick of them.
There's no telling.
Oh, dude, I can't imagine. Metal Gear Solid, hour and a half. No, I can't.
See,
I'm
I
not
think
doing.
I'm doing good when I can beat Dark Souls in 6 hours.
Well, it's like the original Final Fantasy. I can beat that in 3 4 hours, right?
Right.
The thing, and that's like I am all powerful. I am a god for doing that. And then yeah, it's not even a good, not even close to a good time.
Right.
It's like,
So don't you know that once you get the ship, you just sail right up the specific portion and you do the screen skip, and that puts you right up against Garland. I mean,
yeah,
Chaos.
yeah, chaos. It's the same guy. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Yeah.
Oh man, I dig that.
I do
And
too.
the um that there definitely is some interesting things to watch because like I said, these people put a lot of time, dedication into
Yeah.
making these. And when you have a game like Metal Gear Solid, or especially when they do the no glitches and they're playing through,
Yeah.
usually so smooth. I mean, you're watching the movie, you get the whole storyline.
That's right.
It's just a really unique experience.
Well, and there's something special about watching the live run, whether you watch it later on or not, because it's not, well, we've got the perfect run here. It's this runner is probably going to make a mistake at some point,
Yeah,
but they're still going to make up for it, And that's where I think the races are so interesting to watch, especially the Castlevania races, because you need like frame perfect maneuvers, and you'll always have like somebody that doesn't make it, and then when they do make it, the crowd just goes wild.
yeah, 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 yeah. I love that, dude. It is because like I said, and they deserve it too, man.
Yeah.
These guys, gals that are, and folks that are sitting there and putting that time in, I'm glad it pays off for them.
I don't think people understand how much work it is too to optimize to that level.
Oh yeah,
Because it's
it's a
not just.
job.
Yeah.
They're putting in
Yes.
hours a day on the same game, over and over again.
Mhm.
For a half a second.
Yeah. Well, I shaved off 4 seconds here. Other people go, "What? What does that matter?" And speedrunners go,
Yeah, right. Yeah. If you cut this corner close enough, it's half a second off the lap. What?
"Yeah."
If you don't
Well,
hit it just right.
it comes down to the difference in, I guess, who you are, right? When you got on Rainbow Road in Mario Kart, did you try to make the skip or did you not?
Yeah, and you jump off.
Yeah, you're never gonna make it as a speedrunner if you're not willing to go for that skip.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that'll be exciting. That starts on the 10th, January 10th, and goes to the 15th. That whole week, I do believe. I'll do that. I'll be keeping my eye on that.
Very, very cool. I like AGDQ. I like SGDQ too in the summer. But,
We're not in the summer, so
when we get there, though. So
then.
I think speedrunners. I think it's one of those things, much like professional gamers, who put TMs around that, I guess, used to be, where it's like people underestimate how much work this actually is. Now I think
Yeah.
people are starting to understand how much work it is to be like in a league.
Yeah.
Whereas speedrunners still get the short end of the stick often when it comes to that. I'm like, no, these people are working very, very hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not for the money.
Right.
They're not doing it for the bucks.
Doing it
No.
for the passion.
Yeah. Look what I can do.
But
Yeah.
that's all of our news for the week.
Yes, sir.
Did you
Yes.
want to try and tackle anything else today, or should we call it early?
I don't know. We've been going on for an hour, 11 minutes. You have anything you want to do a topic? You want
We
to put
can
up a
take
poll?
one.
Let me just flip over here.
What? Oh, we talked about that last week. Never mind. I was gonna say, what game are you most looking forward to this?
Oh, yeah,
We
no,
talked
yeah,
about that already.
Yeah.
Let's. We want to roll on our topics list again, or do we want to just? Yeah. Okay.
Let's do that.
7, 16. Alexa, roll a d20. I forgot. I have to word it. Alexa, stop. Alexa, roll a 20-sided die.
Roll the 20. God.
Okay, well, Alexa, roll a 20-sided die.
Roll the 20. God.
Okay, I'm just taking the one at the bottom of the list.
There's one.
Okay.
Alexa, stop. Don't talk about my shopping list. Stop. So the topic is, what game mechanic or feature do you dislike most in video game? Also, real quick, just as a reminder to everybody, we are always accepting more topics. If you have some you would like us to
Oh, yes.
go over, but we will vet them. So like, we're not just going to accept anything. If you have some topics, you can send them to the channel. You put them in a comment here. You can send them to @th3fullspectrum. You can email them to us, however you want to get them to us. You know.
I don't know. I don't think about this. Like, there's so many ice levels I hate.
Yeah, I'm
You
right
know,
there with you.
where it's just where it's not. So I don't hate all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so many of them are like, why?
Yep.
Or all of a sudden in ice. There's that. But as far as the mechanic, I feel like I'm really picking on Alone in the Dark with a button to blink.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
That may be the most.
Forced to speed up game to get AP. Yeah.
Yeah. But the. Look, I say that's kind of a big topic. Like, I hate pay to win too, but I know the free games they gotta make money somehow.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of hurt a lot of games
I agree.
that do not need a pay to win mechanic.
Not being able to jump. Yes.
Oh.
Mine, I mean, I want to say it's, don't the stealth sections, follow a character like I talked about the other
Yeah,
week.
That one came to mind.
But I think for me, it's the level spike. It's, hey, I've been making my way through this game and everything's been great, and then all of a sudden here's a huge level spike. And Dragon Quest II is a game that I played as a kid and got to that level spike after you get all 3 party members and you go towards Hargon's castle. I got to that level spike where it jumps 40 levels that you have to grind to be able to kill anything. And I quit. And it was my white whale of gaming for so long. And 2 years ago, I finally took it down. But it just like you'll be bebopping along, you'll be having a good time, and all of a sudden you enter a new area, and it's like everything here's 15 levels higher than you.
Yeah.
Like,
There's there's mechanics that just they didn't work in the game when they put them in, right? Like I'm thinking of Dead Space and the thing we got to go cross with the meteors and everything.
Yes.
The idea is there, but the way that it's laid out and done, it's not fun.
Not at all.
So I think there's enough mechanics. Obviously, if the mechanic stinks, it gets squashed out by the market,
Right.
And every once in a while, somebody, usually sometimes like ice levels, will try to bring it back.
Yeah.
Or something.
Thank goodness we got rid of underwater levels.
Yeah.
For so long, every game had an underwater level, and they were all the worst level of the game.
And blame Super Mario for that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it worked in that, but yeah, there's so many where you don't need to have. Like one of the worst ones where it goes to water levels. Which Zelda is it?
Ocarina of Time with the water temple.
Water temple, man.
Yep.
That's a terrible water level.
Yep.
In a good game, but yeah, the water level just kind of is.
Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. That game is great, but those water sections are such a slog every time.
Yeah.
Gotta hold Emma and swim.
And no. And another one that is a gripe is the redundant turn-in quests.
Yeah. One of the best advancements in video games was when you completed a quest and it just automatically completed it for you instead of having to go take the items back.
Parkour in a great. Oh, in a game that shouldn't have it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no reason. Why did you spend time on developing all this extra stuff, it doesn't work for the game.
I have a clamber. I think Dark Souls is one of those where there's very few situations where the jumping in Dark Souls is good, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of situations where there's an item on the other side of a gap, and you think you can jump over to get it, and actually you need to come down from above because you can't make that jump. You're not going to know that until you try, but guess what? You can't make that jump.
You're not doing it, man.
But if we want to bring up Souls, can I just put Dark Souls 2 here?
Just
Dark
the
Souls
game.
2, it's so many weird decisions. The fall damage is variable. And I don't mean variable as in like the fall damage is variable based on your height. I mean the fall damage rolls on a table when you fall, discounting your height that you fall. You can fall down the same distance and get wildly different amounts of damage.
Huh. Fall mechanics. But fall mechanics are honestly kind of hard to get in the game, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want people just they're if you don't if there needs to be if it like I said, I'm trying to think of okay, I'll go back to Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
Like you fall different a lot far enough, you're dead.
Yes.
But you can fall and get damage, and then you have like this little limpet animation, and
Right.
it's slow, and it's not great. But then again, they have to have something there.
Right.
Or
So you don't just jump off everything.
Yeah, so you don't just jump off everything, and it's hard to balance out that mechanic.
Yeah.
I definitely think that sounds like they ruined that one.
Yeah.
That like I for sure know that's not a way to do it.
Right. I think another mechanic that absolutely should not ever be in a video game ever again for the rest of time is when you get out of a cutscene and your character goes to walk forward and they do the slow walk because somebody's talking to them. And Gears of War does it so much.
Yeah, it's
Just
like
play
not-
another cutscene.
Yeah, just could you put that in the cutscene, please?
Just you get done in a cutscene and Marcus Phoenix is just immediately like, yeah, so tell me more about what you were just talking about while I slowly walk towards this door.
Right. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the game deciding difficulty for you,
Yep.
which you had a huge
Balan?
problem on Balan, and the other games that do it. And I'd rather just, you know, if I want it hard, let me put it on hard.
Yes.
You know,
I agree.
'cause
How do
you're
you
not gonna-
feel with that in mind? How do you feel about level scaling games where, like, as you go, the levels of the enemies scale up with you? Not they're preset, but they scale up. Because I'm torn on it. Because Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah, what it works if it stays balanced.
Yes.
You know, well, in some games, you know, if it doesn't stay balanced, which goes back to the level, level
Right.
spike idea of it. Yeah. So it works. I think it works in some games, and
Right.
because it's not really changing the difficulty of the game. It's just, if you've got it set on normal,
Right.
then your enemies and stuff are staying on about the same level.
Right.
Where it takes that many shots to get them down. But there's so many mechanics that go into games. There's so much stuff going on the back end, that
There
as a
is.
game front end that we don't think about.
Yeah.
Because we're just enjoying the game.
You said shots, and it reminded me of another one.
What's that?
In a shooter, if a character is not wearing armor, like if they have a hoodie on and I shoot them, they should drop. I shouldn't have to shoot a guy with a hoodie. Health sponges specifically is where I'm going with this, but like in the Division, one of the early bosses is just a guy in a hoodie, and he takes so many shots to go down. That hoodie is made out of Kevlar. It just
I need that hoodie.
no button configuration options. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Let me remap buttons. There's no reason not to.
That's true. That is a good one. Because that doesn't seem like that should be hard to put in.
Yeah.
And I hate weak character creation.
Don't
That
even
is-
have it if you're not going to have at least at least Dark Souls 1 levels of character creation.
Some kind of if you're giving me the option to customize, then let me customize.
Here's
I
4
think-
hairstyles.
Right? Yeah. No, that doesn't. I'm not making a me on the Wii.
Man, some of the people can get really creative with those too.
Yeah. You know, there's artists out there that's the medium that they can use to do some really cool stuff. And then other people that are just want to find how extreme they can go.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. I think the Eve character creator is definitely one of those that's like, why is this even here?
Well, it's the same way with Forza Horizon 5 for me.
Yeah.
The character creator is just not you pick, you know, don't call it a say pick an avatar. Don't call it a character creator.
Yeah.
You know.
I also feel like having a character creator in a game that like all of your defense comes from armor, like Dragon's Dogma is the first one I think of, because most of the time in Dragon's Dogma you never see your face. You got a helmet on and you're never looking back, and it makes it really weird, especially in like the sex scenes in that game, because you suddenly see your character and oh yeah, that's me. It's like, man,
I forgot.
I've had a helmet on for the last 40 levels.
Yeah. I don't know, man. In fighting games, I hate spam moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something you shouldn't have to deal with in modern fighting games. You've got a history of having to deal with it. And then what was 2 years ago we had the whole thing with the Mortal Kombat with
Yeah.
Shiva drop, Shiva stomp, right? Oh man. Yeah. And I hate spam moves.
I agree. I think that, not everybody has to go deep in learning all the combos, but at least make it where there's enough of a delay after that basic punch that they can't just do that forever.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay.
I hate it in open world games where there are randomly generated events that can appear, but there's only like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And so, like Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, the Assassin's Creed games, you just, like, you'll come upon a random event, and it's like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the worst at it, I think, where it's just like, hey, I've been bit by a snake. Do you have any medicine? It's like, man, you're the 7th guy that has been bit by a snake in the last 2 hours. I'm not giving you anything.
Yeah. What is it? Fallout 3. You got some water.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The
QTEs as well, for sure.
the
I like a good QTE. Like QTE.
I don't know. There's so many. It's not necessarily a mechanic in the game. It's just the game's bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sort out in my head.
Right. I mean, I did bring up Red Dead Redemption 2, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are people that are still mad at that Red Dead video and will like email me or send me a DM and just be like, "You didn't enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2? What a monster you are! Why are you even talking about video games?" Like, man, I'm sorry. It just
Look, man. I enjoyed Red Dead Redemption, but to be honest, man, I think Red Dead Revolver was my favorite.
Yep. Make it a B.
Yeah. That's out of all those, I think. And I did like Red Dead Redemption a lot.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is all right, but I don't mean to sound like a hipster or anything, but I think they just did a better job with Red Dead Revolver's storyline and everything.
Yeah, that water glitch was something. That was my favorite part about Red Dead Redemption 2. That water glitch. That does remind me of another mechanic that I can't stand, though. Calling your horse in a video game should be like the coolest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And I think Ghost of Tsushima does it right, where you hold down the whistle button and your horse runs to you and you auto mount it. But like, I started playing Witcher 3, as I mentioned. Calling your horse in almost every other video game is such a bummer. Because you call the horse and then you still have to manually mount it, and you have to watch the horse like struggle to path to find you. And then it gets to you, and then you have to manually mount up. And so you're just like walking up to the horse then after you've already called it. Just let me call it and automatically climb on. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. It's like little things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go back over. Like that, is it really the mechanic in that game that's bad, or is it just is it terrible?
Yeah.
There's some grinding mechanics.
Yeah.
I can't say I hate every single one,
No, I'm not right there with you. I love
but
them.
there's some games where the grinding, is a bit much.
Yes.
Usually, you're going to the same exact creature, or
Right.
there's like a loop of 4 monster types that you
Yep.
go and do. The but I think that just comes not mechanic. It's just like some variety.
Yeah.
On that.
I think it helps too. Like the games that do grinding best give you a reason to grind other than just leveling
Yeah.
and getting XP. It's like, hey, when you fight this, you're working on this specific ability, or this thing gets better, or all of these things get better. So you're still benefiting more than just XP.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that random difficulty spike when he was talking a little bit earlier, but yeah, that can just throw off a game.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. I'm not saying the game has to be easy.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times you get into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden, you hit a wall.
Yep.
And it's not a wall that was explained. It's just like all
Yeah.
of a sudden, yes, you have to be so much better now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think there's like we go back to I mentioned Dragon Quest earlier. Dragon Quest 1 does it the best possible way of like you learn from an NPC in the town if you talk to them, and if not, you learn just from experience. Every time you cross a bridge, the enemy level goes up.
Yeah.
So you go across that bridge, see how strong they are, see if that's even an area you should be going to yet or not. Come back. And I think it's such a good way to split it up because in most games it's just you go from this area to this area, and just because the name of the area changed, everything's way stronger here.
Yeah, and I also hate kind of on the other side of that.
For sure.
Tyler Mack, looting is a pet peeve for me. It can't be that hard. Daily looting. Yeah, especially when the game's kind of just based on that.
Yeah.
Not specifically, not going to get rare stuff, but just like gathering up stuff.
I don't want to click on every mob to get the loot from them. Wow.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 does that too, where you have to like walk over to where the thing died and its stuff is right there. And like Genshin Impact just came out last year, right? And you still have to press square for each of the items. When I finish an encounter, let me just hold down a button and suck it all to me. There are games that already do that.
Yeah.
Let me just do that.
The game, you can loot. If you have a game, and part of the game mechanic is that your encumbrance, what you're carrying, then you need to loot individually,
right?
But when you're in these games, a lot of these games where you don't have a limit.
Yes.
You're
fine.
You can fine. You can carry as much as you want to, and that's part of the game. Then why are you stopping the flow to make me have to pick up stuff?
It also really bothers me too when a game is like, we got to have a strict weight limit on there because we're trying to be realistic, and then the game will give you a new item in a cutscene that clearly is like heavy, and then it just doesn't count because it's a cutscene item. So why would it count towards your weight? Like, well, my realism's broken. I can't, So why are we even doing this?
There's lots of complaints about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
But I think they finally got the survival close to right.
Yes.
And the the weight requirements, the encumbrance and stuff, feels pretty good in that without it being too much.
I agree.
Too much. But yeah, there's quite a few games where like I think Genshin is a good example of that, where it's like there's no reason to loot individually. You're not
right. Every time you kill something, it's in a group. Let me just loot it all. I just remembered another huge pet peeve of mine for video games. That moment in the game where your character gets knocked down and then has to like stumble towards something really slowly, or when they get high or drunk or whatever, later will, and they just like have to just stumble towards it. Like, I don't have to play this section. There are some where it's cool, where it's done really well. There's one in 14 that I think is really great. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 has a really good one. But other than that, it's like...
Max Payne.
Yeah, Max Payne as well. Other than that, it's like, man, I don't have to play this section.
Yeah, sections that could have been a cutscene.
Yeah.
And then very rarely on the other side, a cutscene where I kind of like to play through that.
Yep.
But mostly it's like this. This could have been a cutscene. I didn't have, you didn't have to let me. Didn't have to play through this part.
Right.
It didn't enhance anything in the game.
Yeah.
I brought up Max Payne earlier. When you get to that point, it fits in the storyline and the gameplay at that part.
Yeah,
it
does.
It's not just, hey, look, you're walking slowly. How does that feel?
Yeah,
You feel the weight of the world on your shoulders now.
I'm a big fan of like, hey, if you want me to see something in particular, and you're gonna make sure I'm moving at the speed to see it, just show me in a cutscene.
Yeah.
And gets blurry and grayish. The favorite, nice.
There is a question.
Lotro's a good game.
They did that. They got me on the Halloween one too, and yeah, it was an experience having my character that drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They might have been the same one I was thinking about. Yes. I know that. No, it might have been, or it could have been because there's two in the Hobbit area in the Shire. There's two different drinking clubs.
Yeah.
Hobbit League drinking club. So it might have been on one of that. Yeah. Yeah. Because you got to run from bar to bar and drink.
Nice.
It is.
I think that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on it, unless you have some more.
I don't really. Because usually these mechanics are like the it's a level thing, like the ice thing.
Right.
Or it's something that they've done that's like, no, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like the blinking thing alone in the dark. Or the looting thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was brought up earlier, it's just like this is not a realistic game to have this mechanic, Let me pick up and move on to the stuff that's enjoyable about this game.
I agree.
So, no, I think we covered it pretty good. I think we marked that off the list for future topic. I think we covered it pretty well.
I think so as well.
And I think the chat definitely helps out,
Mm-hmm.
configurations, the looting thing. It's
I
definitely
appreciate all your help there. And again, if you have any more topics you want us to discuss, as we said earlier, the podcast is growing and changing. They don't have to just be about video games. They can be about anything really that is nerdy. Nerdy is what most people probably would have said, but it sounds like dirty, so I didn't want to say it. But anything like that: movies, TV shows, anime, manga, comics.
absolutely.
Talk about it. Tokusatsu. I'm always willing to talk about Kamen Rider. But yeah, speaking of which, plug wise, I'm gonna plug us because we got things are changing. We got more stuff coming. I had mentioned, just to touch on this, the podcast is changing, and it is. We're gonna be talking about more stuff now, not just video games. It's gonna be the full spectrum podcast as it was always meant to be. Videos are still coming, of course. They're gonna be covering games, of course, but we'll also be covering some. Pretty excited about it. So I'm gonna make a big roundup update video once I have everything worked out in my head. I'm gonna make a script for it so I'm not rambling the whole time. But please look forward to that because there's gonna be some good stuff coming, I think.
Right on. I don't have any plugs. I just want to say thank you for everybody spending time with us. Each one of y'all neat, and there's never been anything like you, and there never will be again. So the fact that you'll spend a few minutes with us on Tuesday night is just awesome. I appreciate every single one of you.
Absolutely.
But I got nothing else for you tonight.
With all that said, then I've been Trey. Oh, Thursday podcast still happening. Don't forget Thursday podcast. Yeah. We don't have a book to cover this time, so we get to just chill and talk.
Yeah, go some random stuff. We'll pick a topic.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
With all that said, then I have been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
And we've been the Full Spectrum Podcast. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum life that's to offer.